Yo, Elliot, what are the main daily rituals you engage in that keep you grounded and focused on growing stronger?
Yo, Elliot!
Well, thanks for your question, bro. And the very first thing I'd like to bring to your attention is something called frequency control. And that doesn't mean anything more than the frequency that you do something and having control over it. So, for example, if you lift, there is a frequency control with how often you lift, right? So controlling your frequency would be, say, train on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Whatever the case may be, it's a frequency that you control. And if you look in your life, there's lots of frequencies that are dictated by nature, and there are frequencies that are dictated by society, culture. And so like the daily or the weekly pattern, right? It's a frequency that has been controlled or manipulated by society. Monday, everybody hates Monday. You get up Monday and you're all groggy and shit. By Wednesday, you reach what they call hump day, right? So check out what happens here. Monday, start of the week, you suck. Hump day, you're almost there, you're getting really excited. And then by the weekend, you're tapering off with the work that you're doing and you go and you party and you're throwing it all out there on the weekend. That is a typical frequency control that most people engage in unconsciously because we've been trained that way. Right? Even think in terms of like holidays or like sporting events, right? Come football season, every fall, it's just a natural frequency for many people. Every fall, they start spending their entire weekends drinking beer and watching football. That's a frequency that people have been engaging in for decades in many cases. So it becomes a macro, a big frequency, right? Big cycle. And during the season itself, it becomes a mini frequency, you know? Watch football, get hammered, then go to work feeling like shit on Monday. It's a frequency. So for example, another example, because I've been thinking a lot about these lately, is the sleep-wake pattern and how they have been pulled away from nature and dictated now by society. So sleep-wake patterns are really more based on when kids got to go to school or when you're supposed to go to work. And then at nighttime, you go to sleep when your favorite show is done, you're done watching it, or whatever the case may be. You know, most people's frequencies are in someone else's control. And when I mentioned earlier that there are two types of frequency, that there are those that are controlled by nature and those that are controlled by society, what we're hoping to do, I'm getting full circle here, what we're hoping to do is to allow our daily rituals to keep us grounded in the most natural frequencies available to us, right? Rather than the frequency of society, particularly when it relates to sleep-wake patterns, we want to tie ourselves to the natural frequency of the sun, the daily cycle of the sun. So to answer your question, the ritual that is most important to me in my life and that I engage in consistently is getting to bed at the same time every day and waking up at the same time every day. When I go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time, I establish a frequency in my activity and a frequency within my physiology that allows me to be most optimally operating. I operate at my best when I'm in bed by 9:30 the latest. It's usually earlier, sometimes 8:30. Between 8:30 and 9:30, I'm always in bed. It does not matter if it's weekend. It doesn't matter if it's holiday. It very infrequently will I break that. Special occasions here and there, but for the most part, I am disciplined. I am focused. I ritualize getting to bed on time. And the same thing is with waking up. It does not matter if we're on vacation. It does not matter if if it's a weekend. It does not matter holiday. It does not matter. I wake up between 5 and 5:30 every day. That frequency keeps me in a solid rhythm for my life. That ritual is the primary ritual in my life. And by maintaining that type of frequency, I can then engage in other forms of ritual with all of the energy available to me that I otherwise wouldn't had if I had a screwed up circadian rhythm or circadian frequency. You following me? So number one ritual, and I'll give you another one. Number one ritual is to take control of your own frequencies. Don't let the world dictate your frequencies. Sleep-wake patterns is key. I know sometimes we have this where you set back the clocks or turn the clocks forward based on the season. I hate that because it destroys my frequency control. And I think it has something to do with society wanting to control my frequency too much. I get upset about that. So I want to take it back and end this whole daylight savings thing. It pisses me off. The other thing that's really important with regard to ritual is context for ritual. Daily discipline in creating space for you to do the things that you want to do. And so what I'm saying is that it's more important that you carve out the time for a ritual rather than what you do in that ritual. So for example, going back to my frequency control idea, I get up at 5:30 every morning so that I can engage that first hour with the most, or I use that first hour to engage in the things that are most important for setting me up for success for that day. But it's that hour between 5:30 and 6:30 that's really, really, really important. It's the space that I'm creating that's really, really, really important. Now, I may fill that space with different things depending on what's important for me in the moment, but it's always something that fills me up. So for example, sometimes based on my life in the moment, I'll wake up in that hour and I'll meditate. Sometimes I'll wake up in that hour and I'll walk. Sometimes I'll wake up in that hour and I'll do meditation. Other times I've woke up in that hour and I read. It's the space that I'm creating for myself and that I invite you to create for yourself that's more important than what you fill with that space, my friend. So there you have it. If you're going to engage in any ritual, I advise you to get into frequency with nature. And the easiest and most important way to do that is sleep-wake patterns. And then also don't think so much in terms of what ritual to do. Think more in terms of the space you create for that ritual to flourish. Hope that helps. See you next time. Done.